Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Naveen Kumar Marathi. I did my PhD in electrical engineering. Today I will be talking about the opportunities for the students or the graduates who are pursuing their graduation in electrical engineering, electrical engineering or electrical and electronics engineering or electrical and instrumentation engineering. Where are the career opportunities? After the graduation, what they need to look at and how do they plan for their next career. So generally after graduation or during the graduation at third year or fourth year of your graduation, you look for a next career opportunity or you look at what you need to do next. Or some people who are more curious or more studious, they plan from first year of their graduation itself. So after graduation, there are three varieties of opportunities you will look into. The first one is career progression in terms of higher studies. Career progression in terms of higher studies. Second one comes in public sector units, working for public sector. Third one is working in private sector with 6-digit salary, you can say. So when you talk about higher studies, it may be like you can choose MS or MTech. So when you talk about MS, again you have different opportunities. Studying at different countries which you aim at. It may be US, Europe, or it may also be in Australia, or there is a course in India itself in many of the IITs which already providing MS by research in India in prestigious institutions or tier ones. So to aim at these US, Europe, and Australian opportunities, one writes GRE or TOEFL or IELTS. Depends on the country and university's preference, they may also do. Apart from this, as a technical graduate, some people may also look into the career progression into business administration. Again, that depends on where you want to pursue. If it is in IIMs, then one may need to appear for CAT or one may need to appear for individual universities where they would like to pursue. And if it is in Europe or US, again preferences may be given to GRE, TOEFL and IELTS, and according to the university norms, you may need to have your credentials, your academic credentials and your recommendations from your professors you may have. And if you want to do the masters in India, then you may need to appear for GATE for all the national level institutions like IITs and NITs and MHRD institutions. And if you come to the state level institutions or private institutions, some of them accepts the GATE or individual examinations the universities may conduct. Sometimes Apart from these examinations, you may also need to appear for interview as the second level. So not only MSc and MTech, today integrated PhD is an other option where a lot of universities are providing in the career progression. So we can talk about different courses, different opportunities in the higher education sector in our upcoming videos. But this particular video, I would like to dedicate more into the private sector. What are the opportunities where you will be having an opportunity or a space into different domains where you can spend. So different courses in the masters we can talk, and what is the gate rank or what is the GRE score you need to have for different good universities like I-20s. We can talk in different, and I may bring some of the experts in my other videos as well based on the recommendations. Then we can talk a brief about public sector undertaking, or you can say Navaratnas in India, or you can say state government jobs, or you can also talk about the UPSC or these kind of jobs which comes into the public sector. So when you talk about public sector, we generally divide into central undertaking. The other one is state undertaking. State undertaking. Then some of them are corporations which funded. Major stake is government and minor stake is a private unit. So when you go in the central, you may have UPSC, specifically civil services, and equivalent to UPSC like IAS, IAS, IPS. You may also have in engineering. We have one called as IES. We have one Indian Engineering Services. Similarly, you have in the state the assistant executive engineers at different, and if you are specifically into, we are into EE and EEE, then we have Transco, Transmission Corporation, distribution, like in Hyderabad or in Andhra we call it as Discoms. Then we call Genco, generation stations. And apart from this, you have Panchayat Raj and many other government undertaking jobs. You will have an assistant executive engineer, and these are completely the state and central government. But with the Navratnas, when it comes, it may be like your NTPC, BHL, IOCL, ONGC, and like this you will have. And apart from this, you may have DMRC, Delhi Metro Rail, Chennai Metro Rail, these metro rails, and lot of other jobs which are there. But some of these jobs are through the individual exams, but most of them are taking through gate score and an interview process, including BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center. Sometimes ISRO as well is taking, sometimes it has its own examinations. So like this, you have different public sector opportunities when you compare with the computer science graduates or IT graduates or other uh, computer science application based graduates like AI, machine learning, whatever you call. So they doesn't have these many opportunities when you compare with the other streams. Now our focus, as I said, we will concentrate majorly into the private sector. What are the different opportunities we have, and finally where we will land in our career progression. In the private sector, just now when I spoke about, right, about the career progression in the higher studies, which may be similarly applicable here as well. So now I will talk about private sector only. So in the private sector, let us write it as private sector. In the private sector, you have one is there are two paths. One is technical path and the other one is managerial path. When you have managerial path may come from 2 to 3 different stages. One is directly you pursue masters in MBA, masters in business administration. Then you join as a management trainee, then go into the managerial paths. Or by virtue with the experience you have, you climb into the managerial roles. Whereas in the technical roles, there are different technical roles we have. Based on that, your career progression will be happening, and that we will talk about. So again, there are two types of managerial we have. One is project management, one is the other one is people management. So where you want to focus is the other thing you need to look into it. Okay, so now coming back to the technical roles, because as much of the you may be interested in knowing the different, these all managerial roles are also part of these technical roles which I am going to talk about it. Now before talking about the technical roles, I want to show you different organizational structures. Means you can say different organizations, I should say. So more of like we have, when you have a product, the product will be built at different stages, right? Similarly, you have in the organizations, like first one is called OEM, which we call it as original equipment manufacturers. Original equipment manufacturers means on a product, when you take a product, when you take a car, like on the car you will have a logo with with Mahindra, Tata, Land Rover, Range Rover, Volkswagen, Renault, Nissan, VW. Like this, you may have different, you may have different names, right? These are called as the OEM, original equipment manufacturer. Then you next is called tier ones. These are specifically who builds, means OEMs are integrators. They bring all the component at one place. They bring all the components at one place. Then they integrate and they will sell to the market. But tier ones are, they directly may not be involved into the market. They directly won't sell directly to the customer or the common man, but they directly work with the OEMs and sell. For example, in the EV, you say electric vehicle in our domain, then you may have the motor required in the electric vehicle or an inverter required in an electric vehicle. So which Tata may or Mahindra may not directly do, but they collaborate with the tier ones. They work with them or they bring it into the product and they integrate. So the product, the motor or inverter who designs may be a tier. That is an example. I am not saying Tata won't design. They may also design, but it's an example. These tier ones designs individual parts of these architectural cars. Then tier 2s are further develops the product or a sub part of that inverter or sub part of that motor is developed by these tier 2s. Sometimes tier 1 may directly work with OEM and tier 2 may also can directly work with OEMs. Then apart from that, you may have OEM tier 1, tier 2, then you will have service organizations who may work for a design level or a software development or testing requirements. In the service again, you may have two types. One is people based service, the other one is work package. Means they will directly give you a project. The OEM or tier 1 or tier 2 can, the OEM or tier 1 or tier 2 can directly give a work and they will ask you to complete. Then the last one is, but not least, they are the most important one, consultants. These are the experts or agencies where they will do, like for example, you said TUV, which is a testing or complete certification lab consultancy certification of your product. They will provide. They provide the lab testing. They provide EMC testing. Like this, you have consultant. Not only this, but they also have the experts suggestions, design require verifications. They also do this kind of certification consultations. So at these 5 levels, where do you want to work? Means as a product, when you want to build in the customer, they will have complete ownership on their own product. Tier 1 will have the ownership on their motor and their inverter or XYZ component. Tier 2 will have the service will have, then consultants. So when you have at OEM, you have complete look on the vehicle or complete look on the product, how it is going. So that's where you need to look, where you need to work, where you need to get placed. Okay. Now, in these companies, what are the different career roles? Means, as in you may think that as an electrical engineer, I will only have always the design. Only the design is only the opportunity. I can say I can say it's no, because only designing is not only the part of the work. There are lot of other career opportunities which you have. So let's think about from the starting. So first, maybe you may have, like as we talk about the innovation and technology, generally R&D or research. This is completely into a development of new product. Completely into a development of new product. Then here you will have career progression like R&D engineer, senior R&D engineer, associate principal R&D engineer, principal R&D engineer, senior principal R&D engineer, like that. Or some people call it as after senior R&D, associate consultant, principal consultant, like that. Or some people call it as principal expert, senior principal expert, like this. There are different roles you may find. Finally, in the career, he may become a CTO, Chief Technology Officer, who decides the next roadmap, like that. It's not direct. I cannot say only CTO. From here, some may be going into the managerial path after senior engineer, or after principal engineer. Some may be going as a program director. There are various ways you can move. It's not dedicatedly you have to follow this ladder. Depends on the career, depends on the role you are working, depends on the experience you get. You may move into different career progress. Then you have, after the R&D, you can also have one more called design engineers. Here design engineering is, again you have after the product, R&D works for next 2-3 years. What is the product we need to deliver? But engineering design is currently what I am working with the customer. What is the customer requirement today? What I will be developing today and delivering today. That's where Means for the live projects, these engineers will be working. They are called as engineering teams, where you will have roles like design engineer or project engineer, or design engineer, project engineer, senior project engineer, lead engineer. Like this you will have. Then and team managers can also be there. Then you also have one more called test engineers. Test engineers may be there in the R&D, will also be there in the will be there in R&D, will also be there in the design, and test engineers will also be working in the consultants. So they work on end-to-end product testing. There are different levels of testing. We work at a sub block level testing, block level testing, system level testing, and acceptance. There are different testing criteria we have in the industry. Then you may also have, these are the design and testing. Let us suppose, apart from the design and testing core functional things, there are other things as well. You can also have commissioning and services. Commissioning and services means they go for installing and delivering to the customer, getting the customer acceptance, and if any problems, they will try to go into the site and work out and come back. Means any substation installation is there, they will be there to entire installation and commissioning of that, and or they will not maybe participating as an engineer, but they will be guiding their subordinates or the co-workers who are there. Commissioning and servicing is this. Then you may have reliability engineers. This is another crucial and very uh, focused job, and I can say very few people are in this area. If you want somebody to be there, this is a very good opportunity to be the reliability engineer. The reliability engineer's job is, like for example, what is exactly reliability is, we check the product. This can be a job where you can estimate the product life cycle. Means in a product, if you have 10 components you placed in a product, every component may not work for 10 years. You need to talk about their replacement services. Like some component may require after 2 years, you need to change. Some component you need to change it 5 years. Some component need a services at every 1 year. So it is called, this is from the reliability. You check the product life cycle, you check the product life, you will estimate the MTTF. Then this is the one. Then you may also can be a quality engineer. Means quality engineer is at two places. One is at the design level, the other one will also be at the manufacturing. Till now I didn't talk about the manufacturing part. The manufacturing part we will also talk. These all includes in the design itself. There are different ways. Quality. So quality means you are checking the product quality, reviews, design, and then you may also have costing engineer. Means you estimate the cost, or here you will benchmark the cost. Like as a product, this is the estimated amount we need to develop, and what are the components you need to bring into it. Some people may also work as a value analysis and value engineering, the reduction of cost. They will clearly focus on the cost reduction, how to do the cost reduction. So these are majorly comes into a design and engineering type. When you go into the manufacturing side, again you have, I forgot to talk about here in the designing one more before I go to manufacturing. The other important is simulation experts. Here in the design engineer itself will do this, but in some companies there are specific roles called this simulation. They only do this. specifically the power system side, they have more on this. Even on the power electronics, you may have this. Like you use the tools like Simulink or MATLAB, the famous one which you might be already using. Then Simulink. Then you may use PSCAT, power system computer aided design. Then EMTDC, they also call it as PSIM for only power electronics. Then you have a lot of other simulation tools which you might be coming along with it. I will talk little later how these all are being used after the manufacturing one. And we will also talk what are the courses you need to be more careful when you want to enter into these jobs when I speak in my last 5 minutes of this topic. Then coming to the manufacturing side, you have every product will have a manufacturing unit, or it will be manufactured at one particular place of manufacture. There you will have different like manufacturing engineers. Generally these levels are graduates and diploma graduates generally participate here. Then again here a quality engineer. Then here also a platform engineer. Here also a plant engineer. These are the ways it will be there. Now coming into the course opportunities where you need to look or where you need to concentrate. So I talked about the opportunities, I talked about the areas where you work, but which type of roles you will have. For example, we design a inverter. Now we will talk like this. Okay, to build this inverter, you have to know the power electronics. Let us suppose this is an example I am taking. You need to also know the simulation. You need to also know the PCB design. You need to know the software or embedded software I talk. You need to know the mechanical integration. You need to know the layout rules. You need to know the component selection. Then you need to know the design rules. You have to have the architecture. Like this, various things you need to talk about it and you need to. So for example, who may be doing the component selection and layout and the PCB design, the layout may not be done by the same person. So you see, there is an opportunity here, there is an opportunity here, there is an opportunity for embedded software. When you learn like DSPs, microcontrollers, you also can be here. Then if you know the architecture, you know all the functional blocks. To design an inverter, you need to have the certain components like the power component, then signal components, then gate driver units. Then you need to have, likewise, you need to know all the functional blocks and bring it and keep. Then that is called the architect or a technical lead who does these all functions. So when you are an electrical engineer, if you are learning by virtue a software, then it is an add-on advantage when you go for a job. Like electrical plus a basic coding will fetch you more opportunities in the core sector itself when you keep aside the software. Okay, so you here also you need to know the simulation, you need to know the hardware integration. Like this, there are different opportunities. Now what are the sectors? What are the sectors we have? What are the job sectors you have? So you have basically now very famous one everybody talks about is EV, hybrid EV, hydrogen EV, then e-mobility, the charging infrastructure, EV, SE, I call it as. These are the this is the major sector where we are everybody's buzzword now. Then you have grid. In the grid you have microgrid, soft smart grid, etc., etc. You have a lot of things. So this is the grid side. Then you also have automation, like when you know a PLC coding, PLC integration into it. So automation is not only PLC but also SCADA, PLC. This is an other one. Then you have utilities, you have data center and utilities. Like as I said, Transco, Discom, these Discoms are now majorly the you see lot of private, like you see Tata Power, Reliance Power. If you go to the major cities, most of the Discoms are private sectors. So there are a lot of opportunities over there as well. Okay. Then you have manufacturing side, UPS manufacturing, data center, battery, best market, battery energy systems. Then the other one is renewable energy sector. Renewable energy. So there are a lot of opportunities in electrical domain itself for EE and EEE students, even EI and EIE students. Even you can also go into the semiconductors, application of semiconductors. Why not we also work majorly into the software? This is an add-on feature for us. No need to bother about the others. Just it is an add-on when you are an electrical engineer. Whereas when you see the computer science or IT engineer, he cannot work. He may work for a software or app development, but not directly into a core product development. So that's a difference when you look into electrical or EEE or E&I, electrical and instrumentation engineering. So that's how you need to plan your career focused where you want to be when you look at after 2 years of your graduation, 5 years of your graduation, and 10 years of your graduation, where you want to get retired. So that's how one needs to plan your career. And if you have any questions or any feedback, suggestions, or if you want to interact with me directly or indirectly, you can reach out to me. You can just put me a comment and share me your email ID, and you can even connect with me in LinkedIn. I will try to answer your questions and we can talk about the different opportunities which we have. If you like my video, please do share and subscribe to this channel. I will be keep posting in the regular intervals the career related updates and technology related updates. Thank you for watching this video and hope this is useful for you and it may be interesting for you when you look into it. So please subscribe to my channel and hear back. I'll be hearing back from you and it will be I will be happy to hear back from you. Thank you for your time and listening to this video, and bye bye. I'll see you in the next videos.